Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at messages from your spirit guides. So there are three groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Amethyst heart, along with this group of oracle cards. Group 2 is the Selenite egg, along with this group of oracle cards. And group 3 is the Citrine, along with this group of oracle cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps for each group in the description box of the video if you would like to jump ahead. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Amethyst heart. And these oracle cards will be the messages from your spirit guides, so we'll take a look at these in a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get a feel for what area of your life your spirit guides want to talk about today. What do they have some messages for you in regards to for Group 1? Okay, so we have the Moon, 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups, and Temperance. So this is in regards to something that brings you a lot of joy, but that is currently unexpressed. It's something that you hold within, something that you kind of keep to yourself. This could be a pursuit as far as a career that you would like to do, a direction you'd like to move in, maybe a career change, some kind of hobby or artistic pursuit that you are considering maybe investing some more time into, incorporating more of that into your day-to-day existence. This could be something in terms of visual arts, or I'm also getting a reference to the dramatic arts. So some kind of performance-based art that you derive a lot of pleasure from. It's something that you've invested a lot of time in. You might be quite skilled at it at this point in time. This could be something that, again, is just kind of a hidden interest. Not a lot of people know about this. You could very much be somebody who kind of leads two different lives, where you have the daytime self, the self that colleagues know about, that sort of your acquaintances or general groups of friends or most family members know about. And then there's this other side of you that's very hidden, that's very almost like a niche that only a few people know about, maybe some very trusted friends, close friends, or people that are involved with this type of community or this type of pursuit. Or it could be something that you just do kind of on your own and in the dark of the night, kind of under the cover of night. There's a fear almost of bringing that out into the light in terms of what would people think about this? What would people say about this? There could be a little bit of some imposter syndrome going on here as far as really doubting your abilities, doubting your talent, your skill, and really some confusion about what would this look like to incorporate this more into your day-to-day life. How would you need to make room for that? What kind of sacrifices would need to be made in order to clear up some space to bring this area that brings you a lot of joy and a lot of fulfillment more into the forefront of your life? So you could be kind of right on the brink of maybe pursuing a career change, or launching some kind of a creative endeavor, putting yourself out there in a public forum even. This could be something where, maybe people that are close to you, friends and family, know about this, but you've been considering going public with maybe your art, your ideas, putting yourself out there, maybe going on some auditions, but there's some hesitancy on your part as far as kind of a fear of rejection, and again, really not being certain of what that would look like. Almost a fear of success as well, kind of knowing deep within you that you have the talent and the ability. You may have gotten some feedback as well that you're very skilled and that you should be pursuing this full time or as a career. You should, keep pursuing whatever this is, or invest more time in it. And the idea of that, kind of taking your life to the next level, really taking concrete steps to head in the direction of satisfaction. Although it's enticing, there is almost a fear of that unknown, kind of some issues with worthiness that you might be dealing with, as far as maybe you were raised to be extremely humble, to not really praise yourself about things, to just to be very quiet about your accomplishments, about your talents and abilities. And so to put yourself out there in a public sense, in a public forum, opens you up to not only criticism, which might be a little bit scary, but also praise as well, which could be something, you might be a person that has a hard time accepting compliments. You just kind of shrug these things off, or dismiss these things, or kind of return a compliment with a compliment, instead of just taking that in and really basking in the joy of that, and the appreciation that you are receiving from others. So battling with a little bit of that, and it's kind of keeping you, I feel, on the brink of really stepping forth into something that it promises to bring you a lot of fulfillment. This looks to be something that's part of your life path. In some way, it helps to brighten the world around you, or to brighten other people's perceptions and perspectives of the world around them through whatever it is that you're doing. And even just the amount of joy and excitement that you are investing in this pursuit, that energetically that really helps to uplift others as you're putting yourself out there. So let's take a look now at the messages from your spirit guides in regard to this area of your life, group 1. And we have new opportunity. So you may have recently been asked to participate in something, been invited to participate in something, to audition for something, to submit your work for review, maybe some kind of an art show. And this could be the opportunity that you're sort of hesitating acting upon that. Again, out of fear of rejection, or even kind of a fear of success, a fear of acclaim. And your spirit guides are really advising you here with this kind of this light coming through this portus here, this window, this opening, that this is a window of opening for you, a window of opportunity that is really beckoning you beyond kind of this shadowy energy of fear, this fear of the unknown, kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone, that on the other side of that, to really answer that call and step forth, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities to you. That the first step can definitely be the most difficult, but your spirit guides are encouraging you that once you take that leap of faith, we also have this little, it's like a galaxy up here in the top corner of this card, and this really speaks to once you take that leap of faith, that a whole new world opens up to you, a whole new world of possibilities. And it's almost something I'm feeling that kind of when you step on the other side of that fear, it will be something you can look back at it and almost chuckle at the sense that you were a little bit hesitant, a little bit nervous about taking that leap, because the success that this will bring to you, the new opportunities for friendship, maybe for career or financial abundance or recognition, or just a sense of fulfillment within yourself for following your life's purpose and answering this call. It's something it's really going to change your worldview, change your view on yourself, your path up to this point, and it's really going to give you a cause to appreciate these gifts that you have, that you've worked very hard to hone and to perfect, and a lot of this which is just, it's innate, it's part of your soul calling. And it's something where, you know, this window of opportunity is presenting itself at this time because you are ready, you are equipped, you have what it takes, and the world is ready at this time to receive you. There's also a sense almost of the world needs whatever it is that you have to offer in terms of something of a tangible nature, or even energetically, your energy signature that is infused in everything that you're doing and that you're putting out there. This is something which it's very needed at this point in time. The people that will encounter this, the community needs that you're responding to via, you know, whatever this may be, an art form or some kind of dramatic art, that this is something that can really help uplift and change the vibration of the world around you and others who come into contact with you. So we also have Electric Eel Spirit, bring your ideas to life. So another confirmation there from your spirit guides that an idea that you have, this urge, this calling to maybe bring out some kind of new art form, some kind of new idea, a new perspective, that this is something which it can really help to illuminate some things for other people as well. It can really help to, you know, shift the vibration of others that encounter this work, that really, you know, come across you. It can open the opportunity for new friendships, new colleagues, new kind of professional collaborations. This is something where what you're doing, this work that you're putting out there, it's definitely infused with this, the energy of the divine. A lot of this is divinely inspired. And this is something that as you are kind of taking these dreams of yours out of kind of the mental realm, out of this emotional realm, and you are engaging in concrete action to kind of bring these things out into the material plane, that through that action, you're being supported by your spirit team, by your spirit guides, by source, by the divine. There is a larger purpose for whatever this is that you are considering pursuing. And so when you take that first step through that window of opportunity, you know, cross the threshold of your comfort zone and kind of step out into the unknown, then your efforts will really be supported by the divine. You are surrounded by a lot of protection at this point, as you kind of step out there and, you know, expand yourself, extend yourself out in ways you may not have before. And it's something where, you know, the more you put yourself out there, you are also going to be receiving the guidance, the nudges, the kind of indications of the next steps to take. These things will be made clear to you. The path will reveal itself the more you embark upon it. And we also have Oracle, wait for important information. So this really speaks about, you know, receiving again that guidance, those signposts, things becoming illuminated for you as you put yourself out there. That you're definitely in the process with all of this of co-creating with the divine. A lot of this is divinely guided. This is part of your life purpose, your soul purpose, and signs will reveal themselves. Other opportunities will be unveiled the more that you act upon the current opportunities that present themselves to you. So you're definitely also being encouraged by your spirit guides to call upon them, ask for guidance, ask for assistance, for courage, for encouragement, for signs that you're headed in the right direction, or if you're uncertain about which way to go, what direction to take things, then really calling upon your angels, your passed on loved ones, your spirit guides, your spirit team, God, Goddess, Source, whatever you resonate with, for that assistance, for that nudge, that indication of what is the right path for you, what are you meant to be doing, then you will receive signs in a variety of ways that are very personal to you, kind of these nods of acknowledgement, or I'm feeling also some things that are very overwhelming, that are very hard to miss. And so if you're in a period of uncertainty, the guidance here is to just wait for that very overwhelming, kind of the blinking neon sign, in terms of, you know, communication with kind of the etheric realms. There'll be something that comes in that's very unmistakably a confirmation for you of now is the time to act. This is where you should be kind of applying these efforts. This is the best place to kind of put yourself out there to experience the greatest degree degree of success and satisfaction, and to reach the right people with whatever this is that you're doing. So the sign will come. It may just be a matter of, really setting that intention and waiting to receive that, anticipating that response from spirit. And we also have go after your goals, persist, encourage, advance. So another confirmation there from your spirit guides that this idea that you have, this calling within your soul, this interest that you have, this is definitely very favorable for you to pursue this. This is a milestone in your life that you are at right now, being faced with this decision to act or to just hold back. And the guidance here is to push forward, to kind of move through any kind of walls of fear or barriers within yourself, any perceptions about how will this work, what will this look like, to act with trust, to know that you are supported also as well by, many passed on loved ones, spirit guides, angels. You have support in the energetic realms that are helping you in this quest to kind of pursue your dreams, to act upon those dreams, to answer that call and to bring that out, to pursue your goals and to bring that out from the realm of, just wanting and wishing out into the material plane, that the time is now, the conditions are very favorable to when the signs come in as far as the window of opportunity. Maybe you have already received some kind of an offer, some kind of like an art show that you've been invited to enter submissions for, or something that you've learned about that you're feeling interested maybe in putting yourself out there. Maybe some kind of an outdoor market where they have a booth available, they have a stall available, and you've been considering renting space there to be able to show and sell your wares. This could be some kind of an audition that you've learned about for something musically, or something in the dramatic arts, the visual arts, the performing arts, and you're kind of hesitating as far as putting yourself out there. But this is an indication that whatever it is that is presenting itself to you has already presented itself to you, that this is very favorable for you to do this. And regardless of the outcome, this is a very important step toward pursuing your goals, because you're acting with trust and faith. And, even if it's something where you audition for a part and you don't get the part, you've at least exercised courage. You have at least put yourself out there. And, crossing that threshold, it just makes it easier to get in that habit of putting yourself out there more and more until the right opportunity presents itself to you. Maybe it's something as well where you put yourself out there, or you're showing your art, and the first time you do it, it might not be so successful, but somebody notices that, and then you're invited to participate in something further down the road. Maybe you make some kind of a connection that could lead to a long-term friendship, somebody that you could get a lot of professional inspiration from. You just never know what can come out of these opportunities that you're being guided to really pursue. But the most important thing is that for yourself, you are shifting your vibration from kind of suppressing your dreams to one of honoring them. And when you do that, when you are honoring who you are and the truth of your soul, then you really electrify your life in a way that other experiences and opportunities will magnetize to you, that allow you to express more of that facet of yourself that you may have, again, just been kind of with the moon card here, just kind of hiding away, kind of keeping to yourself. And now's the time to really bring that out, to illuminate that, let that shine, bring that part of your personality, that skill, that gift of yours that is innate or that you have been working on. Now's the time to really incorporate that into more of who you are, that you present to the world on a regular basis. And the last card we have is a message from Archangel Michael. You have created this situation and you have the power to change it. And the prayer is, thank you for letting me lean on your strength and for reminding me of my personal power. Please guide me to manifest and heal according to divine will, creating peace and blessings for everyone involved. So on this card, we see this figure painting on an easel. So that can be a confirmation as well as some kind of an artistic pursuit, that you are at the precipice of really launching out there into the public, really putting yourself out there, maybe pursuing this as a career. This can also speak as well, because this is the Archangel Michael painting on that canvas. So that can really talk about, this divine energy that your creations and this aspect of yourself is really infused with. You're being guided, you're being supported in this endeavor. And this is also really talking about and encouraging you to call upon your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels, Archangel Michael, for support, for courage, for direction as far as opportunities to seize, actions to take. And you're really being called to, again, shift out of this state of just kind of wishful thinking and what if. Now is the time to take action. Now is a time when the conditions are right for what you have to put out there to be well received. It's something that is very needed by whoever will come across this. And this may be somebody that, unbeknownst to you far in the future, by you putting something out now, just as it, changes hands, as it kind of filters its way through the culture and through time and through space, somebody in the future could really be influenced by what you have put out there. It could be an inspiration or a comfort for somebody. So beyond just the immediate effects of what you're seeing, there's a larger picture here. There's a larger purpose to this. This call of your soul is not there by accident. It's definitely, you have free will. You have the choice to just continue to kind of keep this very closeted, keep this very secret, and just something that you do privately, but you're really being encouraged to bring that out there, and it's something that can lead to a lot of success and fulfillment for you, and can really also help to uplift the vibration of those around you and those who come into contact with your work. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Selenite egg. So these are going to be the messages from your spirit guides. So we'll take a look at these in a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get a feel for what area of your life your spirit guides would like to deliver some messages about for you, group 2. Okay, so we have the 10 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the Tower, and the 10 of Wands. So I'm feeling that this has to do with the life that you have built for yourself up to this point in time. You may have really kind of acted upon what other people had told you was best for you, what was expected for you. You may have been really following some kind of roadmap that was laid out or presented to you, maybe even just in a very subtle way, not kind of a direct expectation, but just through example. In terms of some traditions of your family, people around you, what you saw in terms of conventional relationships, or just kind of the progression of the journey into adulthood. So, maybe kind of going to college and getting the career, settling down, getting married, having children, buying a house, things like that. That this could have been a path that you had kind of devoted yourself to. You may have achieved a lot of these things, but there's a sense of something missing, something not feeling that you had fulfilled, a missed opportunity maybe that you have been kind of carrying around within you, sort of looking back with a sense of what if. There's a desire to create and experience more in your life than you may have currently been able to experience, or even with a lot of success in some practical ways and some conventional ways. There's a sense of really wanting to shift the course of things, change the course of things. Some things may have already started to kind of fall apart or crumble in your life. Some illusions may have really come to the surface, or some dreams that you had placed a lot of leverage upon, that you had really placed your sense of identity and worth upon. These things could have turned out or are starting to become very burdensome. A certain lifestyle, it may be kind of a struggle to maintain that, to uphold appearances. You may be really acting as if, but then inside there's this longing for something more, for something different. There's a sense too of maybe some of the foundations that you had laid not really being the most solid and the most stable, or kind of not being laid for the correct reasons. And so with some other things shifting in your life, you are experiencing, again, maybe some crumbling of these things, almost a sense of having built a few sand castles in your life that were really, just might have looked very nice on the outside, but, didn't really have the foundation or the structural integrity to kind of weather some storms. So there could be a lot of things that are falling away from your life currently, or that you are, feeling this strong pull to really reevaluate and to kind of tear down for yourself. There's a desire to kind of let down some of these burdens, the expectations perhaps again of others, or just some expectations that you had placed upon yourself, and to really go back and try to rebuild in another direction, or pursue something that you had deferred or had chosen to go another route from in the past. So let's take a look at the messages from your spirit guides now regarding this area of your life, group 2. And we have positive expectations. So this is really speaking about kind of this silhouette of this figure, which is kind of illuminated. There's a little bit of color, just kind of a hint of that, a spark of that amidst this kind of background of darkness. So as things are really feeling kind of overwhelming, very burdensome for you, a lot of things are maybe falling away, or you're being called to distance yourself from some things, and you may find yourself in kind of a state of a void, a state of uncertainty about what's next. You're really being advised here by your spirit guides to remain optimistic, to have hope that this period of darkness that you're going through, the kind of crumbling, the disillusion of some illusions or some things you might have built in the past that no longer resonate or weren't built necessarily for the best reasons. all of that will give way to, a lightness that will enter your life as you are gradually kind of picking up the pieces and kind of redirecting your focus, taking this time to really search within and to say, what do you want moving forward? You've experienced a certain way of being, and you've experienced almost the lack of fulfillment, or just kind of very limited aspects of fulfillment. And now's the time to really search within and to look at this not as an opportunity, or not as necessarily something to dwell on as failure, but this is really an opportunity to change. This is an opportunity to grow. This is an opportunity to create a life which is more fulfilling for yourself, to again dig within into these deep parts of your subconscious where you may have buried or deferred some dreams, and take this time where there is this space in your life, to fill that space with the things that bring you a sense of joy, make you feel really uplifted. Take the time, or look at the time and the space that has been gifted to you by other things falling away, maybe some things to do with your job, with career, with finances. Maybe you've been laid off, or you were demoted at work, or something's just not really working out with that. Something's just very unsustainable about continuing on in this profession, and it's filling you with a sense of kind of defeat and lack and loss, that instead of kind of dwelling in those feelings, to really take this time to search within and say, what can you do with this wide open space in your life, with this time, with this, kind of taking this uncomfortable feeling and transmuting that into concrete action in a direction that is more in alignment with your soul. Search for other options. Think outside of the box of what you might have been doing previously or up to this point. And really, I'm feeling also this emphasis on, failure is it's in the mind. It's a perception. Failure can really also be seen as just a restructuring. It's almost a reimagining. It's the possibility, it's the potential to create something new, to start again, to try again, to build in a different direction, or to harness some strengths or put some priority on certain areas or aspects that might have been kind of neglected in the past, and to at least put the effort into, trying to see what would it be like to, lean more upon those things. What would it be like to build more in that direction, or to build more upon those foundations? If the things you had previously built upon led to more kind of burden and stress than they did to a sense of joy. If the joy and fulfillment was maybe just financial, but on a spiritual soul level, you were feeling a lack, then now is really the opportunity to, maybe honor those parts of yourself that were really yearning for attention, yearning for more of an active role in your day-to-day life, and just brainstorming, being really open to some ideas that might crop in, or ideas you might have had in the past that you just kind of dismissed. They didn't seem very practical, but now might be the time to revive these things and have some hope that things can turn out very well for you, to kind of move beyond that fear and to really just put yourself out there and be open to what can come from that, from almost this beginner's mind of, this energy of what if, being open to suggestions, inspirations that come in, and really the expectation that things can work out better than you may have planned. And we also have Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait. So this can really speak to, not being so tied to your immediate circumstances, the present situation that you find yourself in. This is some guidance that, these difficult times, this darkness, this kind of crumbling away, this will pass. You're just kind of have to weather the storm at this point in time. With seahorses as well, that little curly tail that they have, they use that to kind of anchor themselves to seagrass or to kelp. And that helps the seahorses as they sleep. They just kind of ebb and flow with these very powerful ocean tides and currents, the churning all around them. And it keeps them very anchored to, where they want to be. so that, you know, they're not swept away, they're not swept asunder. And this can really speak to finding that core, that truth within yourself, what you want for your life, what you imagine your life to be, anchoring yourself to that and allowing yourself to really flow through the changes that are occurring around you, the things that are kind of crumbling down, that are shifting, that are changing. And that a time will come where you will sense a direction forward. You will see that window of opportunity. You know, you will be made aware of the next direction you are to move, or, you know, an idea, an inspiration will come to you of how to make the most of this situation. So if things are feeling a little bit heavy, a lot's crumbling right now, the guidance is really just to hold on through this. All of this is very temporary. It will pass. Try to hold on to hope as much as possible. Hope for a brighter future on the other side of what is falling away. And we also have Shaolin Master. Be graceful in movement and action. So this is really speaking again to just being very deliberate, not really rushing into something that might seem like a good temporary fix for you. Kind of the discomfort that you might be going through. It could be easy. It could be. You could be inclined to take some shortcuts somewhere, take the kind of the easy route out of something, maybe settling for, you know, another job in the similar field that, you know, is going to, you just know it's going to provide you with the same level of kind of stress and discomfort. And so, you know, that might be something that's quite comfortable, at least that's predictable. Or if this is something to do with a domestic situation, the inclination to just stick that out because it's what's expected on the other side of that, you know, is the uncertainty. What would people think? What would people say? What would your life look like? This is all you've ever known. And so there could be that tendency to just stay where you are unhappy, and yet it's comfortable, it's known to you. And you're really being guided here to, you know, before you make any kind of drastic or permanent decisions about things, you know, take the time to really evaluate, take the time to really feel into yourself. There's no need to rush into anything. There's definitely time to meditate. There's definitely time to wait for guidance, wait for answers. Now might be the time to just really flow with the energies around you. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to make a decision. Acknowledge that change is necessary, and really open yourself up to, you know, that change, that window of opportunity opening for you at just the right time. On this card as well, he's holding this praying mantis. And so that is, again, this energy of, you know, just kind of doing what you need to do at this point in time to kind of keep yourself protected, to kind of, you know, shelter yourself from whatever storms, whatever's kind of threatening your peace of mind or your stability at this point in time. Again, this energy of really waiting, searching within, waiting for just that right moment, planning just that right maneuver before you launch out and set out in this new direction, in this new terrain. And so with all the shifts, it might, again, you might be very inclined to act very quickly, or to just kind of lean back into something that's comfortable, even some kind of a coping mechanism that you may have previously used to just kind of get through difficult times in the past. But you're being guided here to do something different, perhaps. Expect for yourself that good things can come out of these changes, out of this situation. And now is definitely the time to perhaps just sit there, to observe these things, observe the shift, and the right time to move forward will become clear to you. And so reserving your energy as much as possible, trying not to dwell and expend energy in a state of worrying or anxiety. It can be difficult, obviously, when things are, you know, kind of crumbling down, especially when, you know, jobs and finances and living situations, when these things are all undergoing transformations. It's only natural and healthy to have a certain degree of hesitation, of worry about that. But, you know, to really practice kind of mastering the mind, allowing yourself to feel these things to a certain extent, but then kind of reining yourself back in, getting to a place where, you know, you will not allow the worry and anxiety to kind of cripple you and to make you oblivious or unwilling to see sort of these opportunities for change, the opportunities for shift, the opportunity that lies for you out there in the unknown beyond what has been comfortable and predictable up to this point. point. So really conserve your energy as much as possible. Meditation can be something that can be really helpful for you as well, or some kind of physical exercise, some kind of recreation, maybe yoga or even martial arts, something that gets you in a state of mindfulness, being very present, not focusing your thoughts so much on the larger picture, the bigger ramifications of what is this going to look like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, what does this mean for the ultimate future? But as these changes are happening, to become very present, very attached to the now, very centered in your body, and this can help you to kind of replenish your own energetic batteries, to conserve some of that energy for the push that will be necessary further down the road to really rebuild yourself, to really restructure and rebuild your life. So at this point in time, just being, very aware of yourself, very present, can also open you up to that guidance and that recognition of the right time to act and the right direction to move into to create a future that is more fulfilling for you. And we also have find your voice, express yourself, open up, sing out. So this is really speaking about, I'm getting with this, and it's this kind of solo figure in this kind of vast expanse. And this is really talking to me about, the things that might be clearing out in your life, things that might be changing, might be shifting. You might find yourself gifted with a lot more time as some kind of responsibilities or things that you were busying yourself with are kind of falling away. Maybe even some relationships are kind of falling away. You're finding yourself almost in this kind of this dark night of the soul energy, or just the things that previously resonated are no longer really fulfilling you. You may have this desire to spend a lot of time alone, to go within, to kind of set yourself apart and to figure out, what does resonate with you at this point forward. And your spirit guides are really encouraging you to lean into this, to make the most of this time, to really, again, search within and find what sets your soul on fire, what resonates for you, not what others expect for you, not what you have been conditioned to do or told that you should do, or have convinced yourself in the past would be the road to happiness, would be that path to success. But now's the time to really search within and say what was something that has always been calling to you, has always been compelling you, that you may have kind of put on the back burner or turned away from. This can be a time to really cultivate some hobbies, some gifts, some artistic pursuits. This can also really reference again the state of almost like meditation that you might want to be in. Journaling can be very helpful at this point in time to kind of process some of these things within you, and also maybe brainstorming. Start off even just in the realm of fantasy. What would your ideal life look like? And the more that you kind of write about these things and think about these things, you're able to bring that down from the realm of, kind of this wide and fantastical vision and view for your future. And you're able to kind of concentrate that down into practical and realistic things that you can do in your life that can kind of generate that same feeling of satisfaction or joy or excitement about living your life that maybe more of these loftier goals represent for you. So now is a time for soul searching. Use this time of wide open space that has been created for you to be very present, very aware of yourself, become very aware of your needs and any ways in which those needs may have been denied or were not honored to the fullest of your ability in the past. And the final message we have is one from Archangel Michael, and it says, admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. And the prayer is, I appreciate your support in helping me face my feelings with grace and acceptance so that I can be lovingly honest with myself and others. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for giving me courage and strength. So this is a beautiful message to end this reading with for you, group 2. And this really speaks to, again, just holding on, holding fast as these changes are happening, using this time to search within, find the truth of your heart, the truth of your soul. What are some areas that you've been playing small in your life, or that you've really built a life in accordance to the expectations of others? if there are things that, you know, you've just been going through the motions, but it's been very dissatisfying, very burdensome to you. It's almost feeling that it's leading you further and further from deep soul satisfaction. Then these changes that are here now, or this feeling of pressure and burden upon you, it's reaching this breaking point for a reason. Now's the time to search within and say, what can you do to alleviate these burdens? What can you do to change your situation, to create more of an alignment between your soul's calling and what you are investing your time and energy in the material world? What's the life you are leading versus what's the kind of life that you would like to be experiencing? And opening yourself up to guidance, calling upon your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, God, Goddess, Source, whatever you resonate with, for some inspiration, some ideas, and also the courage and strength to take decisive action in the direction of, you know, building your dreams, recognizing opportunities to really step into those things as they present themselves, and the fortitude to continue paving a new path and structuring a new and more fulfilling life for yourself. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you like the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Citrine, and these are going to be the messages from your spirit guides, so we'll take a look at those in a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get a feel for what area of your life your spirit guides would like to talk about, and that they have messages for you in regards to. Group 3. Okay, so we have the 7 of Swords, the Lovers, 9 of Cups, and Ace of Cups. So this is really talking about wish fulfillment. This could be in the sense of a romantic partner that you may be in a period of no contact or separation from, and there's a desire to return to this closeness with this person. You may be vacillating about giving this person another chance, or reaching out to this person, or, you know, just seeking to kind of undo some of the damage that was done previously in the relationship, maybe because of emotional unavailability or some kind of sneakiness that was going on. If this is not in regards to romance, then this can really also be in regards to what are some of the ways that you are not honoring your own truth, your own desires. What are some of the ways in which in your own life you've been very imbalanced, or you may have gone through a series of relationships, romantic or friendship, or even relationships with family that were very one-sided, where you were giving more than you were receiving. This sense of almost settling for less than what made you fulfilled. What are some of the ways in which you were not making your needs known simply to appease others in order to kind of preserve relationships, keep them intact, keep people happy, and just kind of keep the waters calm between you and others? There could be this urge to really speak your needs, speak your truth, to declare that perhaps the overgiving which is taking place in a relationship, that this is something that no longer works for you anymore. But there's some hesitation about how people would react to that, what that would look like for you in terms of, people leaving your life or cutting off contact with you. This can be romantic, this can be friends, this can be family. There could be some codependency that's been going on as well. And you're kind of reaching this point where enough is enough. There's something about your happiness which, long term, this is not sustainable. This is something where, you feel very alone in terms of giving to yourself. This feels like the energy of, really longing for reciprocity, for a reciprocal relationship, longing for, somebody that can give as equally as they take from the relationship. But at this point in time, it's something where, you're really experiencing kind of the opposite of that. Some very one-sided circumstances, situations. This could be patterns in your life in general, again, friends, family, or romance. And you've kind of reached this breaking point, being on this precipice of really taking your power back from some of these situations, to setting some boundaries, teaching some people how to love you, but being very hesitant about that. Very unsure about that, having maybe put the needs and satisfactions of others ahead of yours for quite some time, that to shift that it's a new way of being, it's a new way of showing up in the world. There's a sense of not wanting to ruffle feathers of other people, or just almost sacrificing to the point of depleting yourself just to keep certain people in your life, or because you feel a sense of obligation to them, maybe specifically in terms of family. You feel that you owe it to them because they are your family members, to almost overgive into the connection, that you're willing to excuse your needs and your boundaries not being honored because of the specifics of the dynamic between the both of you. This could also be something where, again, some long ingrained kind of patterns of being, of showing up, maybe some examples of even in a romantic sense, a romantic partnership, examples that were set for you from your family of origin, from childhood, that this is just the way that you've kind of been programmed to showing up in relationships, is one person gives, the other takes. There's a power dynamic, and it's very much something where, it's not a matter of equal give and take or cooperation, but, one person holds the power and the other person sort of takes all the power. Or one person gives power to the other. It's very one-sided, but something within you is starting to recognize and realize that there's another way of being, or that there should be another way of being, that you want a different experience. And so it's a sense of kind of breaking away from traditions, or even just a series of patterns and cycles you've experienced in your own life, and you're feeling a little bit hesitant about that, but kind of right on this brink of having a major breakthrough, a shift, setting some ultimatums, some boundaries for people, really speaking your truth, and kind of redirecting all that energy that you've been pouring into others, and instead focusing that on yourself, on your self-worth, your nurturing, and your self-love. So let's take a look at the messages from your spirit guides now about this group group 3, excuse me. Okay, and we have breaking free. So this really can talk about cycles of codependency, relationships that are very one-sided, that are very depleting or draining, or are not, giving in the same manner in which they are taking from you. And so this can be kind of scary to cut people off, especially if it's something, or even not even so much cutting people off, but just speaking the truth of, you have some needs, and this is what you need from these people, that, you need to be you need to cry upon their shoulder for a change, or maybe you are feeling a little bit tired or drained, and saying no to having that long telephone conversation with somebody who's just got a lot of stress that they need to unload on somebody. It's really this emphasis on breaking the pattern, breaking the cycle and the inclination to overgive or always make yourself open and available. There's this emphasis here on really starting to protect your own energy, to create some boundaries, to break free from the tradition that you've established with these people in your life, or a way that you have just kind of been conditioned or have come to feel that is expected of you in terms of showing up in the world, being someone who is, just always very giving, always very nurturing at the expense of your own needs, almost the giving the shirt off your back energy, and not really maybe receiving a lot of that in return, experiencing times where you're just left to shoulder your own kind of burdens and your own stresses, and the same people that may have really expected you to be there for them when the times are tough, they're nowhere to be found. They kind of scoot away, scurry away, are too busy to really attend to your needs, attend to, being there for you. They're only really there when they need something. And so your spirit guides are really encouraging you to take the steps necessary to break these patterns, because it seems like on the other side of this, whatever these dynamics are, a specific relationship or many relationships, the change is not going to come from that end. If change is to occur, it starts with you. You are the one that needs to break this pattern. You are the one that needs to shift how you are showing up in these relationships. And it will definitely test these relationships. This will be almost the obstacle course that these relationships will be faced with, to either evolve, to change to that standard, or to, kind of dissipate and fall away from your life. And so, it's understandable that this can fill you with some hesitation, kind of this not wanting to be alone, or again, if this is like family, that this is in regards to, kind of wondering, what's that going to look like, or kind of breaking away from this sense of obligation because you are related to somebody. But it's very important for your peace of mind, for your emotional well-being, your energetic well-being, and just the quality of your life in general, to really take this opportunity to infuse yourself with love, advocate for yourself out of a place of love. And it's an opportunity also to present these other people with the chance to maybe recognize how they've been showing up in their life and other relationships. People who often just take from people, from situations, even energetically, and give nothing in return. They don't always have to have nefarious intentions. This can always come from a very unconscious place, where it's just something they've been conditioned to do, or nobody ever set boundaries. And so they never learned that they were overstepping anything. They had no idea about anything like that. And so they just kind of continued on and went through these motions of, people giving to them, people indulging to them, and there was no expectation of reciprocity there. So you can definitely be the person that can help to kind of clue this person in, awaken this person to maybe how they're showing up, their own behaviors. And it can be the wake-up call that these other people need to kind of shift and change something within themselves, to really take accountability for that, and to recognize how one-sided and unfair the dynamics have been. But the most important thing is that you liberate yourself from this process of overgiving, giving to the point where it depletes you, where it compromises your peace of mind, your sense of worth, your sense of well-being. Your spirit guides also want you to know that you are so much more than what you have to give to others. Your worth is something which far exceeds your benefit to other people. So if this is something that's been part of your kind of your narrative or your mindset that, you know, maybe you are a very empathic person and it's in your nature to really feel the pain of others and to want to heal that, help that, or fix that. That's a very beautiful and admirable quality, but you're very deserving of having your needs met as well. Having that gift and that ability does not mean that it needs to be or should be used to the point of really depleting, draining, and depriving you of the experience of somebody giving love back to you, having your needs met and acknowledged. You know, you are very much deserving of reciprocity. You're deserving of the love and affection that you so generously give to others. And so now is the time to really set that standard. And as the people in your life who can't really meet that, who are unable or unwilling to make the changes and meet you on that level, as sad as that can be, it definitely opens up the space for others who are able to, you know, recognize that, who meet you as a person with a new set of boundaries. They're able to immediately kind of rise up to that level and meet you there. And you open up your life and your energy to, you know, receiving relationships in the future that are more reciprocal, experiences which fill you in the same way in which they, you know, ask to take from you, where there's more of an equal give and take, a balance than what you've experienced previously. And we also have stag spirit, take the lead. So again, this emphasis on the breaking of patterns and cycles. It is up to you to do this. You're really being called to take an active and assertive role, which could be quite uncomfortable for you if you're somebody who is more of a passive person, or if these are long-term relationships. This is a long paradigm. Perhaps this has always been the dynamic here. It can be kind of scary to, you know, speak up, to change, to say no when you've always said yes to somebody or something. But it's very necessary. It's very important. As much as you're feeling drained and depleted, this will only continue on in the future. And this is really the sense that these relationships will not change on their own. These people will not change on their own. That, you know, you really are tasked with being your own advocate here, with being the change that you want to see, by restructuring the dynamic, kind of renegotiating the terms of the relationship between you and this person. And with the stag spirit here, you know, stag is a very, they're the king of the forest. They're this very noble creature. And so this is really emphasis here as well from your spirit guides that you are very worthy and deserving of love, of reciprocity. You have a beautiful heart and a beautiful giving energy that has unfortunately led to some relationships in your life in which people are drawn to that light, they are drawn to that generosity of spirit, and they, you know, may not be able to give back. They may not know how to give back. Or for some people, they've just been so accustomed to taking with no expectation of having to give back. And this is something where, you know, you're being guided to really step into honoring yourself, valuing yourself, recognizing the worth of the energy and the light that you have to give, placing a higher value on that than you may have in the past, kind of stepping into the fullness of your light and very lovingly, or for some people this may be, you know, kind of harsh boundaries and ultimatums that need to be set. It just depends circumstance to circumstance and how things play out. But now is really the time to recognize the value of that, the very healing nature of your time and your energy, and to be a little more discerning with you know, how you give that out to others, but also recognizing when it's time to really give to yourself and, you know, stepping into that confidence of saying no, establishing those boundaries, pulling back from one-sided or kind of toxic or codependent relationships in general or whenever necessary to kind of meet your own needs. And we also have protection guardian, drop your shields. So this is really speaking about that you're very protected at this time through this process of setting up some boundaries, saying no. This can be a very new process for you with people that you've only ever said yes to, or maybe you're just a person who, again, is very giving in general. And so it can feel quite unusual to give to yourself. You could be somebody that has a hard time accepting compliments. You may return a compliment with a compliment. It may make you feel very uncomfortable to be appreciated even, which could have kind of led to some of these dynamics before. But now's the time to really, protect yourself, protect your energy. Say no, set those boundaries when you need to. Don't answer the phone if you need to, or decline that invitation somewhere. Make your needs known, express these things. It can feel very uncomfortable the first few times you do that. Some people might even get kind of upset as you are setting these boundaries, but you're being advised that you are definitely supported in all of this, that you have what it takes to overcome that, to meet that kind of resistance, any of those sort of obstacles, that any kind of bitterness or upset that results from that, it will dissipate. Those people will then either, change, or they will kind of fade away from your life. And by doing that, by kind of clearing out that very clogging and kind of draining energy from your experience, you open yourself up to people that you don't need to be so guarded with. You don't need to protect your energy with. People that are able to understand reciprocity, that are able to give as much as they receive. So this is something where if you're kind of fearful about setting up boundaries because you don't want to live behind these walls within yourself forever, you're also being guided that, again, this is not a permanent state of being, that as your energy shifts and the way you're putting yourself out there shifts, your experience in the world and the people that are around you and that are approaching you, this will shift as well. And so in time, as you are really standing up for yourself, using your voice and, advocating, expressing your needs, you will magnetize in other people who are able to recognize those needs, meet those needs, honor those boundaries, and you can ease into, more comfort within relationships in a way that you may have not experienced previously up to this point. And we also have spirit guides, insight, guidance, purpose. So this is definitely confirmation that you are heavily protected in general, but at this time especially, as you are in this process of, setting up these boundaries for yourself, liberating yourself from, a way that you have shown up in relationships in the past, a way of maybe overgiving to yourself. This is something, this can also talk with this insight and guidance. Again, you can be a very valuable tool for people, teaching them, maybe showing them something about themselves, ways in which they perhaps unconsciously have just been in the habit of really seeking out relationships that expected very little of them in return. People who almost seek out relationships where, from overgivers who will just pour and pour and pour into their cup and would, for whatever reason, not express the need to have some of that returned, or would be very content with receiving very little in return. And so this can be part of your purpose, kind of part of the soul contract for why you've interacted with some of these individuals. By you kind of breaking free and advocating for yourself and the manner in which that is delivered to these other people or expressed to these other people, this is an opportunity to awaken them. This is an opportunity for them to embark upon their own journey of evolution, their own journey of self-awareness, taking accountability for how they have been showing up. Everybody has the free will choice to do the work necessary to course correct or to continue to remain and kind of entrenched in lower vibrations. So some people will continue on as they have been continuing on, will project as, that you were not compassionate for them, you were suddenly very stingy with them. None of that is your problem. That all speaks to a deficit within this person, an unwillingness to look inside and to take ownership for their role in the circumstances in which they find themselves, what they have done that has kind of created this response or this reaction within you or within other people. For others, though, this can be a wake-up call for people who, again, are not acting with nefarious intentions or out of a sense of greed, but just out of a sense of ignorance, not knowing any better, not recognizing that, never having been taught boundaries, never having, been told no, or have any kind of an expectation placed upon them with an ultimatum that is followed through. So this can be a great process of helping to teach others to, again, recognize themselves and change some of their behavior, which can then lead to a mending and an improvement of some relationships that you have in your life, a strengthening of them, a deepening of them, more respect between you and these people further down the road, as you each are kind of stepping into this new version of being within yourself and within the relationship as well. And the final message that we have is from Archangel Michael, and it says, "Let go of fear now." And the prayer is, "Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings." So this is a beautiful message to end this reading with for you, group 3. And this really speaks to, again, any kind of codependency, any kind of one-sided relationships, or this feeling of needing to overgive, or your value somehow being equated with what you can give to others. You're really being called upon to break free from that, release yourself from that. Archangel Michael's sword here is emphasized in this card, so this can really speak to cutting the cords of attachment with very one-sided or depleting or draining relationships. This can also be something where, some cord cutting meditations might be very helpful, or calling upon Archangel Michael to help you to sever the energetic cords, even to ideas you have within yourself, perceptions and ideas of self-esteem, and in terms of your value, your worth being equated with what you can give to others. This feeling of obligation to want to fix or, solve problems for everybody else. And it's a very beautiful energy. It's a very beautiful desire to want to help, and that's very commendable. But in terms of fixing and healing things, that's a job everybody has to do for themselves. Certain types of personalities, though, can really, especially empaths, can really feel that pain in others and just want to give and infuse love in order to kind of act as a balm on those wounds that maybe the other person is not even consciously aware of or has really repressed, yet energetically they are emanating this out. And so now is the time to really acknowledge that within yourself. Where are you responding to actual needs, things where a place where you can actually be helpful, versus kind of just picking up on some of these more subtle emanations that are coming from people, and feeling that you must, give, that you need to be the one to solve these problems for them, or that love can really heal everything. And so you give to the point of draining yourself, not really asking for anything in return or demanding anything in return, because you're recognizing that these people are kind of walking around with some wounds and you have a genuine desire to help. Really learning to separate yourself from that idea, from those notions, and also being able to distinguish kind of what you're picking up vibrationally from others in terms of subconscious wounds or unspoken things, and being able to identify that not every call needs to be answered, not every pull on your energy, not every sense of pain in another needs to be responded to by you giving every ounce of yourself to that. Being compassionate and expressing love is very important. But if you don't maintain boundaries for yourself, you don't focus on your own health and your own well-being as a priority, then you really, you aren't able to be as great of service to others as you are when you keep your energy high vibration. You feel that your needs are being met. So any kind of ideas of the past, or any relationships, kind of toxic or codependent relationships that really tug on you, people that kind of come back around, and it's just a cycle with these people. Now's the time that you're being guided to really do some work within yourself to kind of clear this, set these boundaries, change the dynamic, change the paradigm, shift that. You're the change maker in this situation. You're very protected while you're doing this, while you are stepping outside of your comfort zone and asserting yourself. It's very natural as you are setting boundaries and changing things within yourself, changing the dynamic, to make some great progress, but then also to kind of regress into this energy of overgiving. If that happens, don't be hard on yourself. Pray for guidance. call upon your spirit team, your spirit guide for strength as you get back on track, as you stick back with your new resolve, as it'll take time to become accustomed to showing up in this new way in the world, to really recalibrating how you give your energy, the ways in which you process the energy that you're receiving, and it can be a process of kind of course correcting, but it's very important work. Now is the time, and you're definitely being encouraged for any places or relationships in your life that you feel are just taking too much, that now might be the time to kind of lovingly shift that situation, or let some people or situations go if they're not able to meet you, and respect your boundaries and your needs at a new and redefined level. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you like the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.